Yo, welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Great League Remix, and let's try out this team here. So we're going to try out the Shadow Poliwrath paired with the Greedent and the Shadow Abomasnow here. They decided to switch out into their Mana Buzz after a little bit of fast move, and we're going to have to tank this move here so that we can throw on good timing. This Weather Ball here is going to apply super effective damage. It looks like we need one more Weather Ball in order for this Mana Buzz to go down. So it's a really tanky Pokemon, as you might know. We're going to be able to build up to 2 Weather Balls. So we're going to throw this Weather Ball here and potentially get the shield, or it's going to get the KO. So our opponent here does elect to let it go and take the shield advantage. They're going to come back in with their Typhlosion. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to throw any more fast moves. So we throw the Weather Ball to chip away at this Typhlosion. We know this Typhlosion here does have energy for a Thunder Punch, so we're going to allow the first Thunder Punch to go through. Does some good damage for them. And then they have the Umbreon lurking in the back. Umbreon here is going to be painful to deal with. However, we're going to be able to throw this Scald, and our opponent is going to elect to let it go. We're going to shield here so that we can apply all of this fast move pressure. You can see right here, we do apply a ton of pressure, and we get them to throw a move onto our Greedent. Greedent here is going to be able to farm down the Umbreon, and now we have to beat this backline with just Greedent and the Poliwrath. We're going to go for this Body Slam on ideal timing here. Our opponent is going to try to get to 2 moves. However, our opponent is going to be forced to throw energy here. Ends up being the Thunder Punch, and then our opponent here is so low that we just throw an Icy Wind here, and because they shield, it still does 1 damage, and that is GG's KO. So we are able to win that game with the Shadow Poliwrath at the end, and our Greedent actually came in clutch a little bit because we did apply enough pressure that we got them low enough. All right, here we got the Mantine versus the Poliwrath. Terrible matchup for us, so we switch out into the Greedent. They counter swap into their Steelix. Okay, Steelix here is going to be interesting to deal with. We're not going to be KOing them anytime soon. As you can see, we are running the Crunch Body Slam moveset. We are going to elect to go for another Crunch here. It does get it into the low yellow, and just like that, we are able to get to another Crunch here. This is potential KO, or it's going to get the shield. We do get the KO, so we do flip the switch, but unfortunately, they have their own Shadow Poliwrath in the back, so that's not good for our Abomasnow, so we're going to have to go into our Poliwrath. Poliwrath here is going to... okay, we're going to allow the first one to go through. Only is a Power-Up Punch. So the Power-Up Punch there was kind of a little bit bait, but it allows them to fire up a ton of these moves right now. So this is where we have to invest at least 1 shield. Our opponent does go for the Power-Up Punch, and then they switch out. We have to deal with this Mantine now with our Abomasnow. They are going to be able to throw their own Aero Ace. Does some good damage. However, we're going to try our best to get this Mantine low enough so that we can potentially farm down, or try to farm down with our Poliwrath. But as you can see right here, Mantine is quite tanky, able to survive all of the Powder Snows and unable to get KO'd with our own Icy Wind. So GG's to our opponent. The Steelix and the Mantine was kind of difficult to deal with, unfortunately. All right, next game, let's see what we find. We got the Poliwrath versus the Gligar. Not a great lead here. We're going to switch out into our Greedent. Greedent here is going to stay in for a little bit, and they do switch out into the Tentacruel. Tentacruel here is going to be able to get to a move eventually, but we're going to fire back with all of these crunches. Second crunch goes through. It ends up getting a shield from our opponent, so that is already job well done by the Greedent. They elect to go for the Acid Spray. We do not shield that, and then we're going to just spam Body Slams at this point. 1 Body Slam gets this Tentacruel into the red, and then our opponent here is going to throw another move. Ends up being another Acid Spray, so it allows us to get to another Body Slam, and this is going to get the KO, or it's going to get the second shield. So just like that, we are able to get 2 shields out of our opponent, and then our opponent is going to get farmed down by our Poliwrath. Now we're going to elect a shield here. This is a way more impactful shield, and then our opponent does switch out into, what is that? The Electrode? We throw the Icy Wind to debuff them and do some super effective damage. So this is a Hisuian Electrode. They are going to throw the Wild Charge at this Abomasnow, but it is not going to do anything because we resist the Electric move right there. So GG's to our opponent, able to figure out that matchup. Greedent coming in clutch and MVPing the matchup right there, grabbing 2 shields and applying a ton of pressure. All right, Mantine here in the lead. We got to switch out. Let's see what they switch out into eventually. Ends up being the Quagsire. Wow. This is a interesting switch-in as Greedent potentially can know Trailblaze, and that Trailblaze would have done a lot of damage right there. So, nice call by my opponent, kind of banking that we did not have the Trailblaze with our Greedent. And now this Quagsire is going to become very valuable for them because they are going to be coming close to taking out our Greedent here and probably not even investing a shield. Okay, actually, they actually let it go, so they were just going to sack it anyways. Our opponent here does throw some energy back at this Greedent to take us out there, and then we're going to switch into our Abomasnow. Our Abomasnow is our best chance to get rid of this Mantine. So we do try to throw on good timing here. We're going to go for this Weather Ball. The Weather Ball is going to apply some pressure. They decide to let it go. Neutral damage gets it into the yellow, but you can see how tanky this Mantine is, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get to 3 moves here. Let's see if they let this go or elect to shield. They decide to shield finally, and then we're going to catch the move onto our Poliwrath so that we can potentially farm down. Let's see. Okay, our opponent ends up having another flyer, the Shadow Glider, okay? So, unfortunately, 2 flyers on the team. Very difficult to deal with, especially since they have shields, and then our opponent here is going to be able to throw a move before we get to the next move. So, GG's to our opponent, unable to win that game versus the Mantine. The Mantine, kind of difficult to deal with, especially since the Abomasnow is not able to apply the one-hit KO pressure. All right, here we got the Guzzlord to deal with. They switch out into the Poliwrath. Poliwrath is not good for our backline here, so we're going to stay in. We do have the energy advantage, so we're going to throw our move first. Ends up being the Icy Wind. Our opponent ends up shielding. Here, they potentially could have the Skull, so we're going to shield here, and we do shield the correct move. Now we know that we can throw our move because it did look like we won CAP timing. This next Icy Wind does take out the Poliwrath, and now we can deal with that Guzzler a little bit better. We have a lot more answers for it. We're going to stay in with our Poliwrath to deal the fast move pressure, and then we're going to come in with our Abomasnow. We're going to tank this move here. Crunch goes through. Defense is dropped, unfortunately. We're going to apply the pressure, go for this Weather Ball. We do get this shield, and now we have to try to win the game with the Greedent. Greedent here is going to be able to get to a move to KO. Now the question is, do we shield here or do we shield what's in the bag? We decide to let it go. We avoid the Crunch debuff, so that's a positive for us. We're going to go for this Body Slam here, take out this Guzzlord, and now we have to deal with this Marowak. Thankfully, we do have the Crunch and not the Trailblaze, so this is where Crunch comes in handy. We're applying fast move pressure, and we are applying charge move pressure. They elect to go for a charge move. We are able to shield that one, and then we're going to be able to get to another Crunch before they get to another big move. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game with the Greedent at the end right there. So that was well done. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.